Good morning. Right?
Right.
Today's comfort food here in Atlanta to Canada Cooks. I'm Michelle. This is my mom, Helen. And thank you so much for joining us each week for our 30-minute meals. Today's meal, we're going to be able to prepare it in 30 minutes. And some of it we'll be able to eat in 30 minutes, the banana bread. But we're going to be making some comfort foods. And I'm really excited over this. It's the end of February, and here in Canada, it's like the weather keeps going crazy. Is today March 1st? Yeah. Today is March 1st. That's right, it is. Look at that, Mom. Look at that. I even had to double check. Well, welcome to March, everybody. It's also March break here in the province of New Brunswick. So the students are out of school for a week. The following week's Prince Edward Island, and then Nova Scotia. Yeah. So, there's a lot of great stuff, but comfort food is the best. And one of the things we love here at Atlantic Canada Cooks is we talk about generational recipes. And that's recipes that, I grew up eating, and that's a traditional beef stew. Mom, you grew up eating traditional beef stew. So I'd say the recipe that we're gonna do today is from many generations, because you get it from your mom, from her grandmother. So we love that. So probably these two grandmothers, definitely on my mom's side. So what we have here, and we're gonna get started on our beef stew right away. We're also gonna be making a wonderful banana bread, but we're gonna make banana bread muffins. Just because they're easy and they're fun. They'll cook a little quicker. Yeah. That type of idea. It means we can eat them faster.
That's right.
And then on top of our beef stew, something here in Atlantic Canada that is very traditional is we do what's called a drop dumpling. So we're going to show you that right at the end. But let's get some stuff in some pots. So here, I was shopping yesterday, as usual, at the farmer's market in Moncton, or any of your local farmer's markets, really. And you can see this absolutely beautiful beef. I want to say hi to the meat boys. I did a lot of shopping there yesterday. Really enjoy it because I know I'm getting fresh, local, grain-fed. Everything's going to be great here. So they've already cubed the beef up for me, which was awesome. So we've got it all ready here. So Mom has, it's a pretty simple recipe for this first step that we're going to do. So Mom has, in the pot behind her, we have some oil heating up. And we're using a cooking oil because we want to get it heated up to medium to a little bit high temperature, because what we're going to do is we're going to sear that meat a little bit, right?
Brown it up.
And we want to brown that meat up. But we do a little bit beforehand.
Yes.
So we're going to put a couple ingredients on this. Oh, here we go. And we're going to start off with some salt and pepper. And then we're going to put a little bit, that's why I've got the flour right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to season the beef. See there, Mom? I'm making sure I'm getting a little bit on all the pieces stirred around in here. So a little bit of salt. Beef needs salt. Salt is your friend when it comes to cooking those types of meat. And we're going to put some pepper. We'll put a little bit more pepper in. But what we're doing is a little bit of a technique where we're building the flavor onto the meat, right, Mom?
Yeah.
So should I just put a little bit of flour across the top and we can mix it together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good idea. Good idea. So what I'm going to do is, because we don't need a lot, right? So I'm just going to, and I'm going to show you here in a second.
There, now we can just...
Looks good. And we'll get that stirred around. Leaving the flour out because we're going to need it. So let's show everybody in the audience there. So we've just sort of put it around the top. So it's great. Yeah. So give it a stir, right, Mom?
Give it a stir.
There.
Hold it all.
So each of the little pieces of meat has a little flour blanket.
That's right.
I am using gluten-free flour because a majority of the recipes we make here are gluten-free. I live gluten-free. My sister and my niece have celiac as well. So we use a 1-to-1 flour. Oh yeah, that looks perfect.
Yeah.
There we go.
Everybody's got a coat.
Right? Everybody's got a little bit of a flour coat on it. That's going to go into the pot. I'm going to thank you, Mom. Give that to Mom. She's going to take that in the back. And I can oh, I'm going to stand closer. Perfect, Mom. We can hear the sear. There we go. And one of the things with this is when it's searing, they're gonna stick to the bottom of the pot a bit. Leave the meat until it stops sticking.
Yeah.
Is really what the deal is.
You want brown.
Exactly, and then when it releases. So the other ingredients that we're gonna be putting into the pot, so we've got some carrots. So I'm gonna give Mom these ingredients so you can get some nice fresh carrots. So we've got the carrots cut up. And I give those to Mom afterwards. I am gonna cut up some celery here. I love a little bit of celery in my stew. It gives us this wonderful aromatic flavor. So we're using 1 stalk of celery, and I'm just gonna cut it into just small pieces. There we go. And this is gonna go in. So it's probably maybe 1/4 cup of celery. You can put more if you want. And you know what's really nice is to use some of the celery leaves in there. And I actually have some freeze-dried ones that I bought. So celery to Mom. And then the other thing I love to do is I like to put some garlic in mine. So I actually have four cloves of garlic. This is a bit garlicky. But I'm actually not gonna dice them. I'm gonna chop them into slices, or slice them, I guess I should say. So we're gonna put these nice slices. It's great because when you're eating your stew, every once in a while, you get a nice slice of that garlic. So come on, what's better than a slice of garlic? So these have the simplest ingredients that are gonna go into this recipe. And I kind of sometimes laugh because food tastes great. We are gonna add a few extra herbs. And I have a funny little, so there's our garlic. And then I've also cut up 1 large red onion. So I'm gonna put the garlic and the onion over here with Mom as well. Mom's gonna end up with a nice pile here. The meat smells amazing. So this is a funny little vegetable, and I left this one out. It looks like a carrot, but it's in the parsnip family. And it was fun, and I'm gonna use a peeler. I was at Lewis Mountain Farms, one of my favorite places to get vegetables here in Moncton, New Brunswick, at the farmer's market. And there was a young lady standing there, and she's like, I've never tasted a parsnip. So the end of my parsnip is cut off because I bought the parsnip and I promptly gave her a little bit to try. So they're an interesting vegetable. They're a mild flavor, but they're a little bit more of a root vegetable. The skin's a little tougher, as you can see, than a regular carrot. So we're just gonna peel the top here. But I love the fresh, earthy flavor that it gives. I find they're a little bit more fibrous than a carrot. So we're just gonna add some extra flavor. I know my dad loved parsnips. It's one of those ones, but it gives some nice depth and flavor into your stew. So because this is, look, it's kind of like a microphone. I always said it. It's got a big end and a skinny end. So we're just gonna cut this, and I wanna cut it into fairly even chunks. Because when you're cooking a stew, when you have your different vegetables all cut around the same size, they cook better. So just a little cooking tip, keep your onions around a similar size, and then our parsnips, and then our carrots are all in there. The other thing that's super great about this is it's a lot of vegetables. And you know what? This is the time of year where extra vegetables are great. So there's our parsnips. I'm gonna give those. Mom, are you starting to put vegetables in?
Yep.
Ooh, can I throw those in?
Yep.
In goes the parsnips, right in the pot. Or as Guy Fieri would say, everybody in the pool.
Everybody in the pool.
So I love the trick that Mom just used. She's here. She's got the kettle. So we know we've got some nice fresh water in there. So Mom, we're gonna give you some herbs. So what I have here is I've got some fresh thyme. So we're gonna give Mom a couple of these sprigs. This one here. Look at this. I love fresh thyme. We need smell-o-vision. It's literally one of my favorite herbs. And I think it's so perfect for stew. We're also gonna put a bay leaf in there, Mom. So
Celery in there?
celery, I think we already dropped it. Oh, here's your onions.
Oh, forgot those. Okay.
Yeah, your celery's floating in there. And I'm gonna give you these, and we're gonna get that up to a boil.
Just put the sticks all in.
Well,
Pick them out? No?
so let's just pull the edges off
I will.
the time, because we
Yeah.
don't want everybody having to pick sticks out. There's still a few sticks that end up in there.
Yeah, I'll do
The trick to time is you sort of take your leaf and you pull it backwards, and then all your leaves come off fairly well. But every once in a while, there's a stick in there. We're just like, it's the little sport of picking them all out. Mom, we do want a little bit more salt in there now that we've got that going.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'll give you the pepper so you can put some fresh cracked pepper.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got a few more ingredients coming in. I love stew, and the word stew comes from the word to a stewing process. So this is gonna cook for about 2 hours. And we're gonna get some of our potatoes out. Really, the potatoes are one of the last things that go in because they don't take quite as long to cook. And then we don't want our potatoes, mushy, right? That's such a funny word, mushy potatoes. We don't want mushy potatoes. So, but we are gonna cut the potatoes up. Again, I'm keeping my potatoes a similar size because it's important. And again, for the cooking process. But there is one other really cool ingredient at the end. We're talking about our dumplings. So I'm gonna do that mixture up here in a few minutes. We are gonna show you a test dumpling because these particular ones don't go in till just as you're finished cooking. So there, we've got our potatoes, Mom. And I think we will put the potatoes in afterwards, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna put these potatoes in probably about an hour before we're planning on eating it. So as I said, it needs to cook for a couple of hours.
Why don't you just have mush?
And we're going to get these in so they'll be ready to pop in. What I'm gonna do is just leave them soaking in some cold water. It's a great way to keep your potatoes so that they don't go funny if you wanna put a little bit of water in that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, this is the turnip. I love turnip. There's a lot of white vegetables in this, so those carrots and the yellow onions look great. So this is a turnip. Again, it's a super hard vegetable. It's kind of like hard like a carrot. So I'm gonna put the big half of this turnip in. I love the flavor of turnip. Not everybody does. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my turnip into a little bit different shape than my potatoes. Because sometimes the turnip looks like the potatoes, right? So we're gonna cut it into sticks and we're gonna get that into the pot. And I hope you see, it's got a lot of root vegetables in it, and root vegetables are amazing. Very good for your health, very fibrous vegetables. So I almost look like I'm putting turnip French fries, which I have not made in a while, Mom. We love making, remember, for a while. If you cut your turnip up like this, as I'm doing right now, maybe I'll make some later. Season those with some salt and pepper, all cut up like this. Put them in your air fryer. Amazing potatoes. And then you've got a turnip French fry. So different. I got a couple big pieces. I haven't made those in a while, Mom. Remember? I got on a little turnip kick. Maybe in the fall, when there's more turnips out.
My mother loved turnips.
So, Mom, can you grab the cover off the pot? We're gonna put some turnip in here. I think we might need a little bit more water in our. We need a lot more water in that pot, Mom.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't.
There we go.
Brought it.
All right, so I'm gonna save this later, and I am gonna make some turnip French fries. Got a little garbage bowl over here. Here in Canada, we're big recyclers. All of these vegetables go into our compost, and we'll be reusing those later. So this is all getting groovy. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna make our mix for our dumplings first. So I've got 2 bowls behind me with flour. I need to make sure I grab the right one. So this is the one that has 1 cup of flour. So we've got 1 cup of a 1-to-1 baking flour. I almost said powder, but that's coming. So this is one of the things. I'm using baking powder in this recipe, but I'll be using baking soda in my other recipe. So in here, so I've got my dry ingredients. So we've got the flour, and I'm gonna put 2 teaspoons of baking powder that's gonna go in. And I've got a spoon, but I'm gonna want a fork because we wanna get the dry ingredients mixed together. I always say I'm not a baker, but the savory baking gets a pass, right? We're gonna put about a half a teaspoon of salt. And then I have my butter waiting right here. And I've got about a tablespoon of butter that I'm looking for. Look at that. Ha. We've got my butter, we've got parsley, and then we've got some milk. And what I did is I cut up some nice fresh parsley. We've got butter. And I was gonna go over to your house, Mom, and get some regular milk. But instead, I'm actually gonna be using a coconut milk in these ones. And it doesn't really, like your non-dairy milks don't necessarily taste so non-dairy. So if you see this, we're gonna get our dry ingredients mixed together. So we've got our flour, our baking powder, and our salt. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix in our wet ingredients. So I just need a measuring cup, Mom, for a half a cup of milk. I think there was a measuring cup. Ah, right here, look.
Okay.
Right in front of me. There we go. So we're gonna put a half a cup of milk. Now I might need to add a little bit more milk, so just keep that in mind. If you need a little bit more moisture in these, we can add a little bit more milk. And I'm gonna put my tablespoon of butter. My butter is softened. And then I've got parsley in here. I'm gonna have some, we're gonna put about half of this parsley, because the other half, I forgot, is going in our stew. There's not a lot of herbs in the stew. The onions, the garlic, and the other flavors are great. So they really give you kind of what you're looking for flavor. So let's get this mixed together. I got flour flying. And these are just gonna sit, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna be dropping those in, and we're gonna show you how one works. I think I need a little bit more moisture, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a little sticky.
A little sticky, and the kind of, yeah. And I said it earlier, but these are called drop dumplings, because what we're gonna do, I think that's perfect, is we're going to drop little balls of this into the top of our stew, but we need to get it boiling. Now, these take about exactly 10 minutes. I was super impatient as a child because I wanted to eat it right away. We're gonna show you that consistency. You can see, so that's gonna be able to drop in little chunks for us to be able to make. So that's actually good for this to sit. Set that over here. So we need to get that pot boiling. So that's what we're gonna be waiting for, right, Mom? So we've got that, we would say we cranked it up, and that's gonna be perfect. So the last thing, and we're not gonna have time to show you how this one fully cooks through, but my other super comfort food that I love to make is a banana bread. And like I said, I'm gonna do these into muffin tins today. So let's switch over and look at this ingredient. So in this pot, I have 1.5 cups of flour. Just again, a regular baking flour. So the other ingredient we say is about, so we've got a wet ingredient here, and I've got like bananas. And my mom taught me this trick. When I have old bananas, they're getting just a little brown, I'll put them in the freezer. So these are extra mushy because I had frozen them, and then I used those this morning. So there's the equivalent of about 2 cups of bananas. So in my 2 bowls, I'm gonna mix some dry ingredients, some wet ingredients, and then we're gonna combine those ingredients.
I'm gonna put the dumpling in.
Is it all boiling, Mom? Look at that, okay. So, Mom, I'm gonna just show everybody.
Okay.
So look at that, the pot, We know all the vegetables aren't cooked. So, because we know this takes about 10 minutes. So Mom's got a really small one here. Maybe we'll get her to put a little bit. So she's just gonna drop this in. They're not a perfect shape.
No.
Just add a little bit, there we go, just,
Okay.
there we go. And we're gonna, hopefully everybody can see. You ready?
Down a little closer.
Yeah, we don't need a splash with our dumpling, right?
Okay, now I've got to put the cover
And the
on.
cover goes on.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. We'll be just finishing off with a dumpling and showing our stew. I was so impatient as a child because you can't touch the cover for 10 minutes. And I'm like, are they ready? Are they ready? So, but it smells amazing, that the seasoning and the flavor. So let's get our banana bread mixed together. So I'm gonna start with my wet ingredient pile where I've got my 2 cups of bananas. And in here, I've got 1/3 of a cup of softened butter. So it's super important that you use a softened butter because if not, it makes it really hard to make the mix. So we've got the butter. Let me just double check here. I need 2 eggs. Then Mom's making sure we don't boil anything over here. Also love getting my eggs. We can get fresh farm eggs here very easily at our farmer's market. There's a lot of vendors that sell the eggs. Mom, would you grab me oh, actually, look, I'm gonna use my butter bowl. Just a tip we always say when you're putting eggs in to any type of a dough mixture, it's always a good idea to crack your eggs in another bowl. There we go. Stuck my finger through that egg. First of all, I don't wanna have any shells in there. We're just gonna whip that up. This way you get your yolk and the white mixed through really well. And that looks perfect. So we're gonna add that with our bananas and our butter. So there's our wet ingredients coming together here. There we have it. So I'm gonna give, actually Mom, look at that. I got a spoon of my wet ingredients, never a good idea. Put the fork in there. I'm gonna give these to Mom and ask her to combine those really well for me. Oh, the stew smells amazing. And we're gonna move over to our dry ingredients. So we've got our flour. Now the other thing I'm gonna add in here is I'm gonna add baking soda. So the other recipe had baking powder. This one I'm gonna add baking soda. And I'm gonna add a teaspoon of baking soda. So it just has a little bit different rising agent in it. And so we've got our flour, our baking soda, and now we're gonna need a little bit of salt. Where did I put my salt? Here. It's interesting how baking has that salt in it, but it's in there to give those extra flavors that you need, right?
Butter will all.
That looks great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna combine my flour and my baking soda and my salt. Get that together. Now here's a fun thing about banana bread. Once I combine these 2 together, you're gonna see this come in. And this is exactly what it should look like. It's got little chunks. You can now add nuts or different things, raisins. I've got some raisins here. We're gonna put in some extra healthy, delicious taste. Or you can just cook the banana bread as is. That's the best part, right? It's gonna get that mixed together. Mom, I think you've got those muffin tins behind you.
Yep.
We'll grab those. I've also got a few raisins here. And usually we like walnuts. And you know what? I went surfing and I did not have walnuts. And I thought I did. So I'm just gonna put a few raisins.
Oh yeah.
Which will add, they're nice moisture and texture, right?
Yeah.
I like raisins. They do add a little bit of sugar because raisins are a good natural, these are unsweetened raisins, but.
Sometimes people put chocolate chips in it too.
Oh, that's always a good idea. I ate all my chocolate chips though. I did. We had chocolate chips. That's a good one. Darn.
Yeah.
There's Michelle's snacking going through,
those
right?
up, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna chop these up. I'm gonna let you stir that just a bit, Mom. Thank you. And we're gonna use muffin tins, as we said. I'm just gonna chop I've got some almonds here. And we're just gonna give them a rough chop because you really don't want a giant chunk of almond because they're a little bit too much, right? Yeah, they are harder. I think that's why walnuts or pecans. Pecans. Yes. Is there enough moisture in that, Mom?
Yep.
Looks good. Great comfort foods. You know what we're gonna be having later today, right?
We know what's for supper.
Yeah, and we'll be showing you, check out our YouTube channel, but follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter because we do push recipes out every week. And we hope that you take some time and call your mom, your aunts, your grandmothers, find out those age-old recipes and get back in the kitchen and get some of those yummy comfort foods out that we've grown up eating. There we go. Excellent. Get this around here. I wish we had smell-o-vision. The stew smells so good behind us. I can see the top just bubbling away. And now what we're gonna do, as I said, we're gonna show you afterwards. But these, probably a good idea. I'm gonna go this way. I got a big chunk on my fork though. And we're just gonna do them. Do you see that? I got a big blob on each one. This recipe is sort of perfect in its measurements because we're gonna be able to get 12 muffins out of this. These muffins are only gonna take about 12 minutes to cook. So they're pretty fast. And I love it because they're healthy. And then for breakfast or a snack in the middle of the day, they're wonderful to have. And very easy. As I said, a lot of people make a banana loaf, equally as good. But I like the crusty side. So when you make muffins, you get more of the crusty side in all of your muffin. And using the little muffin tin or the paper cups certainly make cleanup way easier as well. She wasn't wrong. Moms are always right about needing the spoon because now I'm at the bottom. And I can't get it off. There we go. Get our last one in there.
That's what fingers were made for.
Right? I think I put a lot in one of them more than the other because I've got one with nothing.
Well, you can always make, just make...
There, we're gonna do 11 instead of 12.
That's right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Look at that. I can tell though, I've got a really big one over here. Oh, we're gonna leave the big one. There, Mom, that can be yours. There we have it. And those, see? That dough tastes amazing because it's all banana. So these are gonna go into the oven. The oven's at about 375. Whew. That smells amazing. As soon as I stand near the pot with the stew, it's got this amazing aroma. So we're gonna show you the dumpling and we're actually gonna bring the stew over here and we're gonna unveil it in front of everybody. How's that, Mom? We'll bring the whole pot over.
Let you do it.
Because we only have the one dumpling. Because just remember, we did a little trick this morning where we we're cooking the one dumpling early. Because remember, the stew needs to cook for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Low and slow. It breaks that beef down and it just makes it into that it just kind of falls apart in your mouth.
And vegetables are all hard, so they need a long time.
They need the long time to cook, right? So look at that. I'm gonna leave the burner on. Whoa. Okay, so
it didn't go all in.
this is the unveiling on a live show that come on around here, Mom. I think that's gonna work out great. Look at this, and she got a Christmas plate out. That's fun. It's just a reindeer. I just don't want, you're gonna watch your hand here because I'm gonna put that hot lid there, okay? Oh, look at that, Mom.
Did it cook?
Perfect. Got a potato stuck to it. Oh, wow. Now I'm getting a facial. So I'm gonna do this. We wanna keep that back on because we wanna keep that cooking.
Okay.
Put the dumpling here. But let's just show the audience.
Here, show, yeah.
Yeah, how beautiful that stew is. Look at, Michelle's getting us 2 facial. You can see all the great colors and chunks. I can't turn it too far over or we're gonna dump it out. Smells amazing, Mom.
And before I serve it, I always put a little flour and water and just thicken it
Ah.
up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Like a little gravy with it.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I think even when you put the little bit of flour at the beginning with the meat, already makes it
Yes.
so it's not a clear broth, I
No.
guess is what we're saying.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, that's a great trick. I'm glad that you said that. She'll take a glass and mix the flour and the water together into a little bit of a slurry, we call it, and then slowly pour that in so it thickens that up. You can also use cornstarch instead of flour, so depending on what you're doing. So this is funny, Mom. Normally we have a lot more things in front of us.
Ooh, that smells
But
good.
because I love dumplings, I'm gonna have a bite of my dumpling. It smells amazing. Tastes great. Oh, it's hot.
Feed your baby.
Feed your baby. Feed your mama. If it tastes amazing, that's what adds the extra comfort to your comfort foods. So we'll be showing the finished results on the social media later. But we hope that you enjoy your beef stew, your dumplings, and I can already smell those banana muffins. They'll be ready in about 10 minutes. So check us out online, follow along, go shopping at your local farmers markets and your local city markets, and just have a lot more fun in the kitchen and cooking those old recipes that bring a lot of warmth and a lot of love.
That's right.
All right. We'll see you guys next week and have an awesome day. And I love saying hello to all of our, we've got our Zoom audience and our YouTube audience. I'll stand here and have a little chat with our Zoom audience afterwards.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Guess what we're having for supper?
Comfort stew.
Right.
Right?
Banana muffins.